Good morning, everybody. Thank you for letting me be part of this. Morris, again, it's always a pleasure to talk to you and be part of this. I think it's a great product, and yeah, it for us represents a logarithmic leap forward in how we develop and display traffic data for those in the organizations where you have to present complex traffic data to a very wide and broad audience. This kind of gives us the ability to to do this. So again, it's a pleasure to be part of this.
Good. Thanks, Jerimia. Thanks for joining us. You are in Logan City Council. I'm just going to scroll out so that people can get a picture of where those dots are presented in between, as I said, the triangle between Brisbane, Ipswich and the Gold Coast. The reason why, and welcome, the reason why I thought it's important that you join us is because not everybody has GPS coordinates, not everybody sets up files in ways that ATLYST will necessarily bring the data into the map directly. You've got a way of doing that, and I thought it'd be interesting to just see how that process occurs. All right, so Jerimia, we now see your screen, so just make sure that you don't have anything that you might not want people to view. So what I'd like you to do first is to click on the menu button, which is the top left 3 lines, and choose Uploads. And for everybody to see, there is one box here, so that on the left, so that we can either click in that box or we can drag and drop files from another folder. The files can even be in a zipped folder, so they can be individual eco files. That's what we mean by our data files. They can be in a zipped folder, so you could receive them, for instance, from your contractors or your field crew as one zip folder. They could be from your portable survey systems, your tube systems. They can be from your permanent systems, piezo systems. They can be from bike counting systems. It doesn't matter. Our ATLYST platform will work out how to analyze them. So if you could drag some files over into that box, that would be much appreciated, or you could copy and paste, however you want to do that.
What I will do, what I'll do is I'll just I'll do the way that I will make it probably a little bit more easier for people to see how good this all works. Is that what I have here is I have a list of files that I've just recently had to change some of the functionality of the file names, and so I'll take all of the ones that I've just done the data from the 5th of the 11th, and I'll just drag that across there like that, and then that. Okay, and so.
Yep, so they have now started the process. Files that are from sites you've not surveyed before would appear on the map almost instantaneously as clear circles. They won't be coloured in, and within an hour, it may not be within this this webinar time frame, within an hour they will then be represented on the map. What we can see though is on the right hand side of your screen some of the processes. So it tells us immediately the date, start time and end time. It tells us if it matches a site that you already have. We also can see the number of vehicles that are recorded in that survey period, and we have the hourglass to tell us that it's still working on it. We also have a data quality check process. So I'd like you to now move your mouse to the left side of your screen and go to Files. Okay, so you can see now all the files that you've just loaded are what we see on this screen. They all have the hourglass symbol to say that they're going through that process. They also, if you can go down to the bottom and where you see 20 rows,
Yep.
change that to 100 rows. Fabulous. And so now we can see as much information as possible. Scroll up right to the top. I'll get you to scroll down in a second. On the top left, we can see the total number of files is 360 something. The total number of sites is 366. So that's how many sites you've got so far. On the far right, you can download files. And if you scroll down back, you are going to show us a couple of those symbols.
Yes. Yep. So
we
we
can
have
see
one
the
here.
files that have gone through the process has a tick. What is the triangle exclamation sign telling you? Can you read that out?
So at the moment, the volume, the maximum daily volume here is too low, and that does happen on some roads. What I will do is I'll have to go through and check that one to make sure that there is, that is acceptable. But as it stands, everything else seems to be okay. This does happen on some small roads, and that, it more than likely is just an issue of not enough cars over that counter.
Can you then click on the settings cog button at the top?
Sure.
So that one. Now, what we have here, if you scroll higher,
yep.
We have the units. We're in the metric system, kilometers per hour and metric. We can change that if we're in a different part of the world. Now, where the map settings are, on the right of that, we have default to large dots, which would then allow you to see all the dots large to begin with. I would do that. On the first screen, the map screen, you can see the ADT and 85th percentile, which is what you see in blue just below that map. We can add, by clicking on the plus side, we can add other summary information if you want, and you can go to the drop down to change what's available. Okay, so you can choose percent heavies, for instance, and whatever else you might be interested in. Average weekday traffic, let's say. Let's call average weekday traffic. Terrific. Now, if you scroll further down, what I want, and you can move them around. You've got it. You got it. Okay. Now, if you scroll all the way down, we have the data quality box, and we have minimum survey duration. So we want to see, what do you have there?
We have the minimum number of hours between the first and last vehicle.
That's right. So we've got 10 hours as a time period that that we want to have vehicles within. We have lowest maximum ADT. Now that's where those files were failing for you. So some sites you will have less than 100 as an ADT, and this is where you could change that to another figure that would allow those files to go through as being okay. So you could change that if you wanted, now or later, and then there are a few other items here. Fabulous. So let's now head over to sorting out your sites, and let's go to the sites on the left-hand side. That's right. Now, you can see on the right-hand side, the map. Can you scroll that out so that we can see that whole region? That's it. And all those black dots are where ATLYST understands those sites are located. On the left-hand side, we have each site. We have the description and asset ID, if you happen to have one. They're all blank at the moment. We have the last date surveyed. And we have the directions, and you can see in a whole bunch of these, the latitude, longitude are zeros. Yes, change 20 rows to, let's say, 100 rows. And you could click on the lat word at the top, order them by latitude, longitude, and now you can see those sites where you do have a latitude and longitude are those sites that are available on the right-hand side. Now, there are a whole bunch of sites that don't have GPS coordinates. So to get them showing, you could click, without you doing that here, you could click on the pencil edit option on each line and work through each one and type in the actual latitude and longitude and do all of that if you knew. Not many of us would after the fact. So we've made this easy for you. Can you go to the marker icon on the top right? That's the one. So just hover there for the moment.
Yep.
So that's the marker icon, and there are a few other icons next to it. We'll come back to those after. So what we do with that icon is it allows ATLYST to create a survey site location from the information that you already have in your data file. The name of this survey site is 147. That's something that you have as an internal location. But the description is, if you can read that out.
Yep, we have that from Birchall Street between Chetwynd Street and Allen Street. And what we have, what we do to help us is we also have the posted speed limit, and then that's given there as a 50.
Beaut. That's great. So what ATLYST has done now is it's taken that information, the street information, and plonked the marker at that point. Now you can scroll in, you can click on the top left satellite icon as well. Would you mind doing that? Just click at the top left satellite.
Yep.
That's it. Because for some of us that can then help us see, okay, I get where we are now. We're in amongst all those buildings, and you can then confirm or move that marker to be the location. Are you happy with where that is right now?
So one of the systems that we use as a double check is that I go back to my original contract list through here, and I'll go and have a look at the latitude and longitudes through there. I've checked that. I've checked this site here. I'll just go back to that, and I'm confident with that site. So then I'll go with save and next. Is that you want save and next? Yep.
Yes, save and next. So that one now has its coordinates attached to that site, and we can move to the next site. And this is number 23, Watland Street, between Watland Street and Park Road.
Yes.
And you can determine whether that marker location is correct or not.
In this one here, this one here is the that's pretty much what we're looking at here. It's between when this site was developed, it was between that Watland Street and that Park Road. So that is why we've got that. So we'll go with that, and we'll say save it next. So
you move that site, and you're happy with that. And now we've got Cypress Drive at number 45.
Yep.
And
what I will do in that is I will just double check that we're close to 45 Cypress Drive, and we're pretty much on the money, so we're not far off there. The other good thing that I will say about this is a little bit more intuitive than your Google Maps, is that if you happen to be hanging around in the same LGA, it will predictively understand that it will mean Cypress Drive, Marsden, which is a suburb inside Logan. It won't give me 45 Cypress Drive, New England or Boston, or so it stays in the LGA. So it is quite good and quite intuitive when you're doing multiple uploads. Also, too, there is another thing that which is a little bit more better, is that if there's a problem with, we have a couple of roads that are still being redeveloped, we can use this functionality where we go through and ask them to fix the location. But in all essence, this is better than sliced bread.
Cool.
Okay, so if I got this one here, and what I'll do is I'll go to 19 Atwood, and it's already predictively figured out that I mean 19 Atwood Marsden. I then just scroll down, and we're roughly about there, and I know that because I've previously looked at this prior to the meeting.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
All right,
So then,
let's save and finish there. Look at that. Perfect. Great. So you can see, everybody, that this is a process. If you've got some information, then the predictive tools of ATLYST will help you locate the sites if you don't have coordinates. And we can then, little by little, create the full picture of your survey locations. Thank you so much, Jerimia. We're going to skip out to some other parts of this process. And appreciate your assistance showing everybody how this tool can be used. Thanks, Jerimia.
Not a problem, Morris. Again, thank you for letting me be part of it.